singing country music. That's what I've always dreamt of doing as a young boy. Growing up in South Carolina, it was out of the ordinary to dream such a dream. I moved to Nashville to get a record deal, and I didn't really know what I was doing. My faith was really tested. I wrote this song called Long Black Train. When I laid the pen down, I said, nobody's ever going to want to hear this.
In Fairfield County, something new comes across my desk every day. Crimes are committed, cases are solved, and a community is made safe by the hardworking employees of the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office.
Welcome to This Week with Sheriff Dave Phalen, a weekly program here on LSN Television. We're also carried by a number of the radio affiliates here in Lancaster and beyond. Do appreciate you, the viewers and listeners that join us each and every week. We have a lot of guests from within the community, within the Sheriff's Office. Our executive producer is Kelly Roberts, behind the scene, lining the guests up, working on the questions, does a terrific job. This is actually taped at the Fairfield Christian Academy. We have the students around us here today, and they do a terrific job. And we get a lot of nice comments about the program, so I'm certainly appreciative of that. Back by popular demand is the Honorable Judge Dave Trimmer, Common Pleas Court Judge. Welcome back.
Sheriff Phalen, thank you very much. Good to be back.
Yeah, and then we talked a lot last week about your transition from the municipal court to Common Pleas. And one of the projects, and we talked about this before airtime, that you've been really involved in is the new courthouse.
Yes, sir.
So tell us a little bit about that.
I am absolutely elated about this particular project. I started a committee back in 2005. It was in December, and it was a court advisory committee, and it was made up of important community leaders, but also just members of the public. And we were looking at a number of things. We're looking at our current surroundings in municipal court, where it's presently housed, which is in City Hall. And we were looking at security concerns. We're looking at whether the space in City Hall would meet the demands of the court, future needs of the court. And so we met on multiple occasions, and over the course of several years, ultimately the group concluded that our current surroundings at City Hall were no longer adequate to house municipal court operations. Okay. And so with that, we started looking for a location for a new court. And I know this has been a lengthy journey, not just for our project, but also your project, which is a new jail. And if you'll recall, in the early stages, we were looking at doing a joint project where we would have
I remember that.
The court operations and the jail operations in a single building. And that was a slow-moving process, to say the least.
It still is.
It still is. And so we decided to just do our own operation, do our own project. And I'm glad we did it that way. You can't wait for government to make the right decisions. Sometimes you just have to grab the bull by the horn and get things accomplished. And so that's what I chose to do, and our committee chose to do. And so we acquired a building right in downtown Lancaster, and it's called the Columbian Building. And it's about a half a block or so from City Hall. And it's on the south side of the street between Columbus Street and Broad Street. And the building was constructed around the 1890s.
Isn't that something?
It is.
Wow.
It's amazing. And it's a great building. It's going to, for one thing, it's a solid building. It's got a great foundation. It's a building that's lasted for 125 years and will last another 125 years for sure. And so it's large enough to handle all of the needs that we currently have, and also the needs for the court in the future. I want this court to be everything the court needs for the next 100 years, and I think it will be. So
will there be other areas of county government within this building?
Yes, to a minimal degree. This is a 3-story building with a basement that has some office space in it. Not really it'll have some functions for the building down in the bottom floor. But we will have the prosecutor's office in our building. And currently the prosecutor's office is housed in a totally different building than City Hall. And I think that's going to make things a lot smoother.
Yeah, I do too. There's a lot of interaction there, so they'll be right in the same building.
So much interaction. And so we're building it to have 3 courtrooms.
Okay.
Right now we only have 2 courtrooms. And you never know. We are the 3rd or 4th fastest growing county in the state of Ohio, and so you really have to think about population increases, and with population increases come the necessity of adding an additional municipal court judge. I'm not saying that's going to happen next year. It may not be 10 years from now, but I think it could very conceivably be within the next 20 years, and we're ready for that to happen.
That is a great building, too. I mean, it has a lot of curb appeal, and I have not been inside that building other than on the ground level when there was some other, like a realtor or something was on that, in that building. So on the inside, where are they today? Where are we in the project?
Right now, we're working on major supports for all the weight that's going to be brought into that building. Also, they are working on the outside. They did a lot of the tuck work on the brick, and also they've been cleaning the brick on the outside. And then if you look on the outside at the top of the building, right on Main Street, you will notice that there's 2 points that have been added to the building. The building originally had these. They're kind of like finials. I'm not sure exactly of the correct word usage here. But we're trying to restore the building to what it looked like back when it was originally built in the 1890s.
Wow.
And so if you look, you'll see these two pointed objects on the top of the building in the front. Also, we're going to restore what we call the witch's hat to the building on the, northeast portion of the building, right on Main Street. There's a round turret, so to speak, up at the top of the building, and it used to have this 18-foot high pointed roof over the turret, so to speak. And so that's also going to be restored onto the building, and I know that they're going to, the city officials will have to close Main Street and putting this witch's hat back onto the building. Well, it's got to be reconstructed. And I just think that will be a fascinating moment in Lancaster's history when they do that.
I think so too, and lots of good things going on downtown. I mean, they're in the process of maybe doing something with the Mid-Off building.
That's true.
Right down the street from where the court building will be.
And how about those nice restaurants that have opened up?
Yeah. So all good things right downtown. And again, it makes a lot of sense because not only are you going to have a functional building for the courts and the prosecutor and the probation people will be part of that. It's also taking care of a building that was in decay.
Yes.
And deteriorating. It's going to be functional now.
It
and
sure
it'll
will.
be there like 100 years from now.
I'm hoping that the whole downtown area takes off in terms of revitalization.
I think there's some really good things. I bet you have some mixed feelings about you've been working on this building. That's been your project for all these years, and now you're moving.
Can I tell you something?
You sure can.
This has been one of the most difficult decisions I've ever had to make. In fact, the most difficult decision in my entire life.
Wow.
Whether or not I should take the new position in Common Pleas Court. And that was because of a variety of different reasons. One of them certainly was the new building project. I've given that project my all, and to leave a project before it's absolutely completed is difficult.
Right.
And so there's other reasons too that the transition has been difficult. I think I mentioned last week that I had a great staff, and I feel like we were able to accomplish a lot together. If you think about my job as a judge, truly it's helping people to help themselves. If you were to boil my job down to one single sentence.
Right.
Oh yes, there's a punishment factor too. But ultimately, if you can help somebody to help themselves so they're not a burden on society anymore, that's the real key. And so I was successful in doing that. Mostly because of the great staff that I had, from my probation officers to my assignment commissioners to my court administrator, Jackie Long, who is an absolutely amazing individual, to our magistrate, our clerk of court people, our probation officers, and so that was another difficult reason. And then also last week we did talk about the drug court program.
Right.
And I put my heart and soul into that program, and there's a lot of people in that program, the participants, that have been counting on me as much as I've been counting on them for making the right decisions, and to leave them behind, so to speak, was also it added to the difficulty in my decision making.
Well, I know you were prayerfully considering that, and it was very, very difficult because that's where you've been for 11 years, and that's where your heart has been and your passion. And so to change that, that's got to be tough. But you know, it's exciting. I know your staff too. They are very sad to see you depart. But with that being said, a new day, Common Pleas Court,
Yes.
coming up.
That's right.
And that's equally. I think you're going to think years from now that you probably made the right decision. You know, I think that's
so.
how it usually works. And you're going to be bringing a new ideas, a new face to the Common Pleas Court.
Yes.
And you'll be handling some of the more serious cases we have in the county.
Yes.
From homicides to aggravated robbery, those kind of cases.
I take my job very seriously,
Yeah.
and I'm honored to serve the people in carrying out this important function.
So that's coming up, and not to put you on the spot, and I know you're early into that. Some of the things you'd like to see even in the court that you're going to be able to maybe bring from the municipal court to the Common Pleas, some of your experiences, some of your passions.
Without a doubt, transitioning to this position is made easier because of my past judicial
Right.
experience.
Right.
But really, I'm just focusing on my job.
Right.
I'm not going to rock any waves. I'm not going to create any tornadoes. I'm just going to do my job and punch in my time clock and do the best as to what I can do. And that's my immediate goal, truly. I'm still in the learning process.
You know, and I think about how difficult it really is, and the awesome responsibility in a judge, because you've got to weigh the prosecutor's position, you've got to weigh the defendant's rights and things like that. So at times, and you're not going to always make everybody happy. In
No.
fact, a lot of times you're not going to make somebody happy, are you? One
No.
side or the other.
That's true. And not to mention, you have to follow the law. And so it's very important to know the law. And as a judge is making their decisions, obviously one of the goals of a judge is to be appealed successfully as few times as possible.
Right.
And so having a strong knowledge of the law is a true asset.
And we're just about out of time. Do appreciate you spending the last couple weeks. My friend Dave Tremor, we've known each other now for about 15 years from the days you were a prosecutor, and you're a steadfast guy, and certainly I'm very honored that I'm your friend.
Sheriff, it's my honor too, and we're very lucky to have you as our sheriff.
Well, God bless you.
God bless you.
Do appreciate you, the viewers and listeners that join us each and every week. We've got a lot of great programs coming up in 2015, and make sure that you put it on your calendar to join us each and every week. Do appreciate, again, the staff and the students here at Fairfield Christian Academy, J.T. Burcham, and all the students that put this program together, our executive producer, Kelly Roberts. And every week, without exception, we get some kind of an email or we get some kind of call from the community. So if you ever have any calls or questions, be sure to just give us a call. We try to answer every call within a day. So it certainly encourage you if you have any comments about the Sheriff's Office. Until next week, same time, same place, God bless, buckle up, and we'll see you right here next week.
These waters were woven into the culture of Native American tribes. The descendants of the early Europeans built a business here based on agriculture. And today, this unique destination in the central Ohio countryside comes to life with stories and memories centuries old. The Fairfield County Historical Parks invites you to amazing Rock Mill. Above the falls of the Hocking River Gorge, here together, nature and man have created some truly American stories that you'll want to experience with the entire family. Visit us or learn more about Rock Mill and the largest wooden water wheel in the nation at historicalparks.org.